Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. Today I am working on finishing up this illustration for my final regular illustration class. Let's see, I'm trying to get my chat up on my phone because I'm using all these reference images and I really need to be able to see my screen for that, so thought Twitch would give me a notification, but it didn't, so let me hop in there real quick. Let's see. How do I look at the chat? There we go. Show me le chat. Le chat. There we go. Now I can see if anyone talks to me. Uh-oh, I better turn my volume down. Hear myself and we will have a problem. I can't wait until the semester's over. My desk is such a mess. There is stuff everywhere. Okay. There, that's better. Okay, I'm gonna push this out of the way. Sweet. So, as you can see, I'm working on this underwater illustration because of the fish. I have a lot to do still, so I was working on this fish right here, but I think I'll actually go to this sandy area. I don't actually have any reference for that. I used a blanket in my reference photo. And so I'm just gonna, I'll use the shadows on the blanket to try to get in sort of realistic looking effect, but the most part is going to be from imagination. And I definitely need it to look like a different color than the camera body right here, which I have finished. So what I'm doing right now to start is getting this first hill of sand all nice and wet. And that way when I apply the pigment, it will just spread organically through this whole area and not leave any hard brush lines. But I'm only doing this first hill. There. So, let's see. Use a little of this kind of brownish yellow. I don't know the actual color names. I just describe them as I understand them. It's probably like raw ochre or something like that. I don't know. It's a brownish yellow. I use that to start. I'm going to start in the corner and then spread this out. Oh, flicking paint everywhere. Boop, boop, boop. Get it all the way up to this edge. See, since it's already really nice and wet, it just spreads out and there's like no hard lines left. But I do like to keep messing with it a bit to really get the paint to do what I want. I'm glad this color, I'm perfectly happy with this color, so it makes it easier since I don't have to worry about blending. Blending the color and then blending it again if I run out, because I just mix on the palette. So I like getting this corner darker because then it gives the whole image a sort of vignette kind of effect, which brings the attention to the middle, subtly brings the viewer's attention to the middle. And we've got that. So now I shall move on to another section. Let's look at this part behind the door. don't need, I need to really dry off my brush because this is such a tiny little area. I don't need very much. And I like to bring it off past the boundaries that I've set, the format that I've created. And that way, when I scan it in, or when I frame it, you can't see any like abrupt edges where I stopped but wasn't perfectly straight on. If I carry it past that line, then I don't have to worry about it. I think that's good. So this is still quite wet, but it's okay because this is the same color. I wanted a little bit of difference, but I didn't want a hard edge either, so it's actually perfect. I'm gonna do the same deal. Get this area nice and wet. But since I already painted these little gemstones, I gotta be careful around them because I don't wanna either bring their color in, like muddy them, nor do I want to get the sand all there colored. I mean, a little bit of like reflective color is fine, which I'll probably add at some point. But I like how the gems look so far, so I don't want to create any extra work for myself. So even though they're dry, especially the darker colors will definitely bleed if I get them wet again. That's both the good and the bad thing about watercolors, is that they revive. They will revive if you get them wet again. So you've got to look out for that, but then you can also use it to your advantage at times. Like if you want to blend something, blend a line that looks really hard and stark, you can get it wet even if it's all the way dry and like work it with a brush a little bit to make it a little softer. Just for instance, there's lots of stuff you can do, but you can also do stuff that you didn't mean to, and then you've got to figure out how to work with it. Okay. So now more of this brownish yellow. I'm going to start in this other corner, just like I did on this side, and just bring it out slowly. Particularly careful around the gems. And all of this is just the base color. I'm going to keep working. Hopefully the paper will stay pretty damp. I can always add more water so that I can get some soft, organic looking shadows too. this. Now let's see where the shadow should go according to my blanket. This is my reference photo that I took myself. I set it up so it's all nice. This was originally just a box that was about the right size for the camera, and then I cut a door into it. And then I set it on a blanket. Let's see. So, how about a little bit of this brown? Not too dark, but yeah, that's good. Let's see, I need another space to mix colors. Because this brown by itself is too dark, so I'm going to mix it with the brownish yellow. So let's put this in the corner, maybe a little bit more on this side too. Put some here to show that it dips down behind this hill. Carefully bring that gradient up. And here I want to soften this a little bit. This is drying a little too hard edged. Okay, I've got to pick this up because the way the light's reflecting is making it hard for me to see. Oh, it's looking good. It's okay. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush now. So I'm pretty happy with how it's going, but I want to move to some more like fine details. Stay still, palette. Yay, man, that's looking pretty cool. I'm liking it. Liking it. So let's see. Anything I might want to do. Let's use this sponge to get a little texture to show that it's sandy. So I'll let it dry a little bit and find my sponges. You want this big one or this small one? This is a pretty big area, so maybe this big one will work better. I have this little smaller piece that I cut off. Beep. Or how did it fit? Anyway, I totes cut it off from here, but I'll use this big one. And what color should I do? So I'm looking at this like fish tank thing, and it has gravelly, sandy stuff in it. Maybe like a more proper yellow color. Give it some pop. I really need to clean up my palette though. I'm running out of, here's what it looks like here in my mixing zone. There's like no room. Gotta prepare a lot to fit on this sponge. Alright, I think that's good. And soften brush. Okay. Oh, a little kitty hair on my sponge. It always happens. Okay, get it a little bit wet. And let that soak in. Start picking up the color. See, look at that. Neat. Keep getting it. And I don't even mind if I pick up a little bit of this stuff from the other colors that were next to it, because it just makes it overall more interesting piece altogether. So this side is still quite wet. I think you can see, oh, maybe not. You can sort of see how it's reflecting a lot of light. This one is still damp, but hopefully not so much that it won't show a little bit of this texture. Yeah, it's still too damp. That's okay though. The sponge came off. Alright, I'll leave the sponge to the side for now. So I think that I am at the point where I just need to let this dry. What shall I work on next? I never did get these red gems right here, so I'll work on these red gems. And this is where I needed my reference images. So it's quite dark. It goes from like juicy, like pomegranate red to almost black. So I guess I'll mix my warm and my cool red together, and then I'll also mix in some dark green to get a really nice dark color. Yep, that looks good. A little blue too, a really dark blue. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's a good color. Okay, try not to touch the sand. I'll turn it sideways. And this red gem in my reference picture is shining through the green one. About the dark parts. Once that dries, I actually want to add more red because right now it's a little too pink. Need a more rich red color, but if I add it now, I will lose all those nice hard edges that I want. So maybe what I'll do is the inside of the camera. And in my reference photo, it actually has this nice line, like right here, where the shadow falls because the light's coming like this. So first I will just paint the whole inside. It still needs to be pretty dark. So I'll pick this dark brown. First I'm going to just get this whole area wet again, just like with the sand, so that when I apply the color it'll be nice and even. hello! Pencil 2 and Neomelith. 美しいですね。ありがとうございます。誰ですか？お名前はNeomelith 以外。きれい。あ、こんにちは。Welcome, y'all. Wow, I'm surprised. こんにちは、皆さん。聞いてくれてありがとうございます。You get to watch me work on my final assignment for illustration class. 嬉しい。I think I got all of the dry spots. Okay. Now, load up my brush with color. Yeah, how it's just like organically fanning out like this is exactly what I wanted. So fill the space evenly without really trying. No leftover lines. So what are you guys up to? すごい、ありがとうございます。とても綺麗に見えます。そうですか。ありがとうございます。Did y'all just finish your I saw you guys chatting about it. Oral exams? はは、だと思ったね。Wow, nice. Thanks for stopping by to watch. It always makes it easier for me to finish stuff like this when I can chat with someone. Back in the days of iming, I would be constantly iming people. But then that causes you to just like stop working so that you can type. Thank goodness for Twitch and created the creative channel. I guess they call it art channel now. How do you guys think you did on your oral interviews? I saw there were lots of nerves. I totally get it. I'm always so nervous. It's like when I talk to Shoko Sensei now, it's not nervous because I've known her for so long now, but if I need to talk to someone in Japanese, I'm always like, oh man, I hope I'm not making a fool of myself. I'll still never forget the one time when I said, Yoroshiku onegai shimashita. I was like, oh no. Technically, grammatically correct, culturally, makes no sense. Sensei was super chill, nice about complimenting us at the end, so I feel like she didn't grade us too harshly. I love Shoko Sensei, so I wouldn't worry about it. Probably did great. She's been teaching long enough, she understands. I think that it's not like I've never been a professional teacher, but being a TA and stuff, I can tell when people are at least putting in the effort, you know? I think that's what really matters. Of course, there are standards. That's why I don't want to be a teacher. There are standards you have to follow, regardless of your personal philosophies. So I don't want to be like an institutional teacher, but like with art classes, that's actually, you're just basically graded against yourself. You're graded as to not did you create some sort of beautiful masterpiece, but did you try to do the assignment? Did you push yourself, you know? So I think with language it ought to be the same. Paniku! It's over. You're okay. You're safe. Good job. Yoku dekimashita. Okay, so I got the inside of that. What should I do next? This fish. So I need a smaller brush. Time to paint le fish. Sakana o kakimasu. Now let's see. I'm trying to remember which blue I used for this fish. Maybe I should use a lighter blue anyway, because this one's farther behind, so it has a... I guess it's not atmospheric perspective, because there's no atmosphere in the water, but... Anyway, it should look lighter since it's farther back. Oceanic perspective? Is that what you call it? Instead of atmosphere getting in the way, it's ocean. Water, hydro perspective, aqua perspective. Oceanic perspective. That's too light of a blue. I still need a little bit more darker than that. A little dark blue to it. Okay, a little bit more. Yee. Okay, I'm gonna turn it sideways so I don't touch that part. It's still quite wet. Adding the darker areas once you've got the basic colors in is always so satisfying. It's like rewarding or something. Haha, I laid the groundwork. Now, time for the fun part. Alright, where's the gill? I guess it comes right out. Fin right there. And right there. And then the whole top is pretty dark. Going back from the eye. Whoosh. Let's see, it comes out to the front, and there's another line right here. Just looking at my reference image. Aha, now I shall define the fish's mouth. Boop. Fish mouth. Okay. There's a line right here. You can't even really see this fin right here, just so clear. So I'll just leave that. But the gill comes all the way down. The bottom of the fish is pretty bright, so I won't paint it too much. These are a little bit dark. Boop. Right there and right there. Are you guys done with classes all the way now? I mean, it's Thursday of finals week, so I have until Friday to get all this stuff done, and then I'm done. Yes! It's time for sleeping. and playing otome games. I cannot wait to play Cafe Enchanté. It's been sitting there waiting for me. I kept starting it and then it was dinner time or it was something else or whatever, and did not actually play it. Still have some assignments, but nearly done. Ganbatte kudasai! Is it in Japanese or just some of your other classes? Okay, add some water to this stuff. Kind of soften it up a little bit. Good. Yes, all of the games. Yes, I cannot wait. I also want to play Animal Crossing. Japanese and other classes. Ooh, ganbatte. Do you have until Friday or do you have a little bit longer than that? I think some professors sometimes gives the whole weekend, but I think grades are due by Tuesday, so that's kind of hard on them too. Whee! I love making these little gradient parts where it gets dark and then light and then the end part is dark again. Blend these and then where'd my towel go? Here it is. And sort of sop some of it up in the middle. Oop. Yay. Need some more lines right here. One of my classes, my teacher was kind enough to let me have the weekend. Nice. So hard. Like in some of my classes, we had everything. Actually, half of my classes, everything was due like dead week, not finals week, because there was only one class that I had a true final in. So last week was actually harder than this week. Neomilith, what's your favorite medium to art in? Ooh, that's hard. That's a hard question. I definitely prefer physical media stuff overall. Because with digital media, I just get obsessed with making it perfect and going in and doing it and redoing it and trying to make everything in the most perfect straight line you could ever think of and all this stuff. And for some reason, when I do physical media art, I'm like, it's not perfectly straight. Oh well, it's just how it is. In fact, I like it that way. But out of physical media, I don't know. I definitely love watercolor. That's why I go to it so often. It's time consuming, but I really like the effects you can get and how fun it is to like just mess around with it and see what happens, see how it dries, and you're like, ooh, that was a cool effect. But you never know until you let it dry. But I also like markers, using a combination of marker, ink, and then color pencil for some detail on top. That's really fun too. That's one of my favorites. Zoom in and enhance, yes. Yeah. Ah. I got the Adobe Creative Cloud. Finally, I gave in. I stopped being obstinate because I really needed Premiere. I didn't I wanted to make a really good video for my final project in arts entrepreneurship, and I just knew I wouldn't be able to get what I wanted with like a free program or something, and it was on sale for Thanksgiving, Black Friday or whatever, and I'm so glad I did because it is so good. All the dollar signs. Dollar, 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 dollar. Yeah, it was actually a really good sale because it was a student price, which is about half off of normal price for the monthly. And then it was like, I don't know, $10 off of that. So I'm only paying $16 a month for the next year. And that is pretty good. I wish I didn't have to, but now that I started using it, I'm like, oh, I see why it's worth it. I see why it's good. Okay, I need to add a little bit more dark blue. This one's looking more flat than this one. And man, I've been learning so much stuff ever since I got the Creative Cloud, because I got the one with all the stuff, and I was like, InDesign, sweet. I'm gonna make this into an actual book, because these are meant to be illustrations for a book. And so I hope that my illustration professor is impressed, because I put, it's like a classic book, so it's public domain, and I like made the whole book thing, and it's just waiting for me to finish this one. Pop that in there too. And then I was gonna make the final result a PDF, and then it's like, this is the digital reward for my patrons on Patreon. So I don't do digital rewards very much, but I feel like the book is pretty cool, and since I made it, may as well do something with it other than turning it in for homework. It's a cool portfolio piece too. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more black in here. I'm having a hard time. There we go, that's more like it. Yay. When it's published, take my money. Man, I don't know how long it'll be until I get an actual... I've got at least 3 semesters to go for my degree, because I couldn't resist the arts entrepreneurship major. It's just too good. Because they don't teach you business stuff when you do a visual arts degree. They just teach you how to make the art, basically. And they teach you a little bit of stuff, but not like how to do your finances or something like that. They don't cover any of that. And so when they introduced that minor, I was like, oh, I must have this. I need this. But it added on all those semesters, so it's gonna be a while before I can focus on my not school projects. Ganbatte ne. Arigato. Ganbarimasu. Actually, it was cool. We got to have a special guest speaker from ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, and they had like worked on like all my favorite stuff. And they basically verified what I've been worrying about, not worrying about, but just thinking about it. And it's that if your portfolio is nothing but student work, it doesn't look good. So I am looking forward to getting some stuff done that's not just school projects. I mean, I try to make my school projects good and like in line with what I want to do in my career, but sometimes you can't help it. The project is this, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna have to make it. Even though it doesn't fit my aesthetic. それから私はそれを待ちます。そうですか。ありがとうございます。よろしくお願いします。Man, this fin is like invisible. But it really is in the picture too, so. But there's just just like this little thing right here that sort of blurs. There, that's good. Okay, and then there is this like white spot here, and then maybe a little bit more right here. There. Okay. Boop. Oh wow, that one turned out way more blue. Oh, but it'll probably look different once it dries. Anyway, I'm sure all the fish don't look exactly the same in the ocean. Tsugi wa nan deshu ka? Ooh, you know what? I better check my notes, because I took some notes from the last time I got critique. Alright, so this one? Let's see. Art history. No. Art history notes. Oh, this one. I guess speaker notes. Review. Haha. Add more fish very far into the background, cutting the edge of the format. Oh, yeah. Okay, gotta do that. Add something to make it look like a camera. Oh yeah, so I was digitally gonna put like Kodak in here because the actual camera in real life has this like label inside the back door there. Shorten camera to make it less monolithic. Okay, that'll have to be done digitally. Okay, so adding the fish, that's what I needed to do. 読めない。その2つ目の漢字は I can't read the second kanji. 読めない。私は漢字で弱い。Actually, not as weak as I used to be. I am so impressed with myself. I just practice on Duolingo every day and I just can read more and more kanji. Nope, all the fish, they all look the same. お、完璧だ。そうですか。完璧。あ、そうですか。本当にそう思うの？ありがとうございます。私は嬉しい。Okay, I'm going to use the pencil. I'm not just going to paint the fish on because it's easier to get the basic shape down with the pencil. They're supposed to be far in the background, so they don't have to be super detailed. Boop. Now this has to be longer. Fish. She. Oh, looks kind of like a shark. That's okay though. Could be a shark. Okay, there's that little bit right there. Yosh. It's pretty fun that you guys are in the chat today because I sometimes just break out into Japanese because a lot of the times just talking to myself the whole time. And so I'm just like, yatta, dekta, or whatever. I'm like, wonder if anybody watching the recording is gonna be like, what even the heck is she talking about? But with y'all, I don't have to worry about it. Kitto wakaru ne. Urashii. 本当に聞いてくれてありがとうございます。Okay, got my basic lines. I'm gonna like blend it out with a damp brush so that yes. Yay. Sweet. Okay, now. Dang, I need another. Oh, here. here's some more dry towel. Drawing and speaking Japanese, my brain would melt. Nah, I'm sure you could do it. よく練習したらきっとできます。That's good. Yeah, look at that. That does make it look more populated. Yay! My professor is a genius. Right now we're talking about shows to watch / what you watched. What's coming up? Is it just like anything or like anime? Anime shows. Alright, so I think I'll do just like a far off fish. Like a really far off in the distance fish. Mostly anime. Man, I watched that Life with a Dog and a Cat is Fun or whatever. Man, I cried twice. I was like, oh sweet, it's a little 5-minute, little cute fun anime for me to watch while I eat my sandwich for lunch. No, it's an anime for me to cry into my sandwich for lunch. Well, like it is cute and it's really funny, but then it's about pets, so, and like being a pet owner, so I guess I should have seen it coming, but yeah, just I wasn't expecting to cry that day. The tail is too thick right there. Thinner tail. There we go. That's better. What are you guys looking forward to? Or is it looking forward to shows or just shows that you recommend? Yeah, teeny tiny fish off in the background. That's pretty sweet. That is working good. Now this time I'm going to add white to the paint mix because it's so far off into the background. It needs to look far away. Oh, I watched that one. My roommate is a cat. I watched that one. I like it too. My whole household watched that one. That is me, my husband, and my younger brother. It is a good show. I haven't paid attention to what's coming up this season. I've looked a few times. There hasn't been much that I mean, I have kind of picky tastes, so it doesn't surprise me, but to hear someone else say they're not paying attention, it makes me feel like if there's something super good that catches the, I don't know, fan community by storm, then people will hear about it, even if they're not paying attention. So maybe there's just not really anything good right now. I mean, they are making, all of these shows will have been worked on during the pandemic, so I could see how it could impact quality or quantity, or both. Little background fish, yes. Private numbers trying to call me. No, decline. You can leave a message. Mostly looking forward to catching up on the ever-long queued anime list. I understand. It's so hard. There's like all these books I want to read, all the manga I want to read, all these shows I want to watch, all these games I want to play, and then we only have, what, like 4 weeks of break? Plus I want to sleep. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't sleep. I'll just stay not sleeping. So that I can keep keep up with my entertainment. Let's add a little bit more color to this fishy right here. Oop. Yeah, that's good. Yay! I wonder if I even need anything else on this side, because I could probably fit a little fish's head maybe right here, but I don't want it to get too crowded either. Kangaichu. Oh yeah, I just remembered I wanted to add bubbles anyway. I wanted like bubbles to be coming out of the camera. So I won't add any more fish. That's enough fish. This will be me the entire break. Hopefully it'll be all of us. Yes. I'm just drawing the bubbles. I almost forgot I wanted to do bubbles. And since they're underwater, they won't be perfectly circular, so it might be like a oval shape. And some space between bubbles, because it took a little longer for these ones to pop out of the camera. And then one going off the edge. Ha ha ha, yes! Sweet, that's perfect. Yes! Oh, it adds just those lines, like so much motion has been added. Excellent. Excellent. So much better when it starts to get this point in the creative process, I guess. Because first you have a great idea and then you like start executing it and you're like, oh man, it looks terrible. But you wait it out and then you're like, oh, it's not that bad after all. Actually, it's pretty cool. Team Sleep Deprived, unite! Yes! Yeah, let's just add more. Add more to do. Because I never finished Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I only finished one route. I don't know if you call it a route in there. I call it a route. Oh, and I really like that game too. Then Animal Crossing came out and I stopped playing. It's Animal Crossing's fault, for sure. Maybe one coming up from behind the fish so it doesn't seem like it's completely detached from what's going on. Yeah, man, that looks awesome. Okay, now let's paint these bubbles. Let's see. I'm trying to think, what does a bubble look like? I gotta search real quick. Bubble. What does bubble look like? I've got to get up and go over to my keyboard. Underwater bubble. Okay, so they're lit from above. That makes sense. Oh, here's a good one. Almost look like little jellyfish. Okay, I get it. I get it. So it's mostly the same color as the background. What really makes a difference is it's like dark on the bottom and then light on the top. So I'll have to add some gouache later for a highlight on the top. Oh, and the closer it gets to the top, the brighter they get. and then there's hardly any highlight as it's coming from the bottom. Wakarimashita. Okay. What was the show with the pets called again? I think it's called Life with a Dog and a Cat. Life with a Dog and a Cat is Fun? ちょっと待って。調べます。 Or what if I could get that open? There we go. Cat, Dog, Life, Anime. Okay, the English title is With a Dog and a Cat, Every Day is Fun. 日本語なら犬と猫どっちも飼ってると毎日楽しい. So it's basically the same. Kemono Michi is a weird one with pets. I don't know if I've heard of that one. Is it a recent one? Also, why? Why is it weird? Kemono Michi. Kemono means furred thing, so it's like beasts. Because ke is like fur and mono is like thing. Michi. Is Michi like street? Michi. Way? Michi. Michi, Michi. Kemono Michi. Kemono Michi. Okay, so the lower they are. Oh, I have a little cat hair on here. Dang. You know what? I think I need an even smaller brush. This is not small enough. Aha. Arigato. I'll prepare myself to cry. Oh yeah, and you have lots of pets too. Yeah, prepare. Just get the tissue box, put it in your lap, and you'll be fine. They're only 5 minutes long, so it'll be over quickly. Man, the bristles on this brush are really messed up. What happened? It's Winsor and Newton. That's a good brand. Well, whatever. Just try to make it work. WWE wrestler transported to another world decides he wants to open a pet store instead of saving the world. Wrestles animals and people to befriend them. We gotta watch that over at my house. My husband loves WWE and all the wrestling companies. Like, he knows wrestling the way I know otome games. Like, he knows all the little side things, like, not just the main stuff, like the niche within the niche. Okay, I'm finally ready to paint these bubbles. Boop. Bubble. Bubble. What's your favorite otome game? It's hard to pick. Probably Code Realize. I love that game. I love a lot of them, but that one has it all. Like, I love all the characters. There are no, like, this is kind of mean, but there are no, like, trash characters where I'm like, ugh, I just have to play this to unlock everything. Like, I love everybody's routes. The music is amazing. Visuals amazing. Of course, I'm really, as a visual artist, I think it makes sense, but I'm really picky about the visuals in otome games. And then the story is really good. Yeah. And I think it's really popular in Japan too because it has 2 fan discs and not many games get that many. I mean, a lot of them don't get any fan discs, so I think it goes to show how good it is that it has not 1 but 2. And it's really popular in the US. It's really funny because the favorite character of most US fans, at least the ones that I've met, is my least favorite character. Like, well, more some for me, but it's like, because he's like the butt of the joke the whole game. Like, even in his own route, he gets made fun of and everything. Like, even by the main character. But I guess that made his route was really fun to play because of that, so. Maybe that's why. Maybe the people like him because he's like kind of a good doofus kind of guy. I mean, he's a genius, but he's also kind of like oblivious. And so they like feel bad for him a little bit. Yeah, man, these bubbles are looking sweet. There's always got to be the trash NPC. Man, I cannot wait to play Cafe Enchanté though. I was so happy I entered a contest to win a copy and I won. So like I'm such a big Ultimate Game fan that I just had already bought the game. So I gave it to my youngest sister, who also started playing Ultimate games, and she's had more free time than me these past few weeks. And she's like, "You've got to play, it's so good." And I'm like, "I know." Sounds like someone I know. I don't know if I'm thinking of the same thing, but just thinking of our shared experiences, I might. Boom! Bubbles! Bubbles! Awesome! Man, that adds so much too, and this like kind of helps balance out the so much going on here with these gems too. Yay! It's coming together. Okay, I need my regular reference images back up. I can probably put some more red on these red gems. They really need an infusion. Your assumptions are correct. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. That's mean. I did... No, I won't say anything. It is nice, though, to have people who understand. I don't feel alone anymore. That's all I'll say about that. Just keep smiling to myself. That's a little too much water. There we go. That's much better. Yay. This was way too pinky. These gems look like, I don't know, Jolly Ranchers. They need to be much more vibrant. Oh, I guess this is red too. Oop. Yay. And then even this part shining through this one is a really bright red. And then this one down here. Also, the bubbles really make the whole thing pop. Ah, thank you. I think so too. Like it brings it to life or something. Like makes it look like, I don't know, something. I'm glad I remembered about that. It's so hard to remember all this stuff that I want to do, and then when I start and then I think I'm done and I turn it in and I'm like, oh dang it, I forgot to do that thing. Now it doesn't look how I wanted it. Plus I'm going to make this into the next batch of Patreon rewards, so I really want to make sure it looks good. Oh, here's a red gem down here I completely forgot. don't know if I'll be able to get them out before Christmas. I mean, they're not supposed to be Christmas, but it's kind of like a present, so. Oh, and I was going to make a really easy Christmas card design this year, just using a black and white drawing I had done and then color it really simple like. But tomorrow is the first class mail shipment deadline, and I still haven't even started doing that. I mean, I guess school's more important, but I hate it. There's so much I want to do with my life. There's not enough time. There's never enough time. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more red on the bottom. Don't worry, you don't have to say. Thank you. You couldn't make me. Reminds me of something I read. I decided to read one of these. So I've been reading business books on my own to just beef up my education, you know, and not just wait for classes, but it was mostly tailored to people working in an office, so it didn't really apply to me very much, but there was one thing that was a really good bit of advice, and I feel like it's good for anyone, not just for leaders or business people or whatever, which is basically if you have something, a criticism or something to say, something that someone needs to improve on or something, just say that, keep that verbal. And then for anything that you want to compliment them on and tell them they're doing a good job, then write that down so that they can look at it some more later. Because if you write down the negative thing, then they'll just look at that and then feel worse and worse and worse. But it's like the flip side if you do it with a compliment. Genki sou ne. そうですか。よかったです。Have been trying to make work that's a little more active. For the longest time, I was focusing on making works that were more detailed. Now that's not really a problem for me, but it tends to be really static. So I'm glad that it's genki sou desu. Oh man, I wanted to get this done by today. It's already 3:30 and I still have to scan it into my computer. I might have to just get it to a point of completion and then turn it in, but work on it some more on the weekend for complete finish or something, like to make it into postcards. Okay. I only got the part where I want the shadow to be. Boop. Oh, that's not going to be dark enough. Mix it with this like purpley black that I've got right here. That ought to help. Ah, yeah, that's way better. How close are you guys to graduating? Since you're in 101, I guess, or you were? Are you both from 101? You're from 201. Yeah, you guys are 201. Oh my gosh, so hard to keep everybody straight. Gomen ne. So if you're 201 and you're doing 202, you might be pretty close. Wow, I graduate this spring. Wow. What was your major? I need to paint where this fin is. Ooh, I better wait though. Or else it'll, well, actually that might be good. Yeah, that's actually a good thing. Yay! Not even close. Next semester only taking Japanese 202. Oh, wow. Computer science, math minor, and Japanese minor. Oh, you're doing 2 minors too. That's what I did too. Cool. Do you have an idea what kind of job you're going to go after when you graduate? Are you like looking at recruiters or whatever? My brother got a computer science degree too. He was able to get a job at Micron pretty fast, and he's liked it there. Okay, let's see. I gotta turn this layer off. I can't see the inside of the box. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so it comes down like this too. Keep working too far down, and my little overlay covers it up. It's like working within augmented reality. Get all the minors, right? Oh, nice. I'm lucky enough to have a programming job lined up. I might have a lot longer since realizing I want to go into physical therapy. I think that happens to a lot of people, because that definitely happened to me. I kept changing my mind what I wanted to do. Just make sure you don't end up like me, because I think I'm going to have to somehow pay for my last semester myself, because I ended up taking way too many credits. Some is like, back when I was working 40 plus hours a week and trying to go to school, I got to the point where I just couldn't handle it, and I just dropped out of school because my job was really good at the time. Then, when I realized that job was like soul killing, and I decided to come back to school, I had to retake all those classes to fix up my GPA, and then I had already done a similar thing earlier when I had transferred from ISU. So like have all these retaken credits, and that just added up, plus taking 2 minors adds a lot of credits. 2 unrelated minors. I think that's the problem. If they had like been art related minors or something, like minor in art history, and then taking a visual arts degree, it's not as big of a problem. But I've got like arts entrepreneurship, which is, you know, related to art, but there's no overlapping classes. And then Japanese, of course, there's hardly anything. Ooh, although Eastern art history overlapped with my visual arts degree. That was nice. What's this bit? I gotta get another reference image. I don't remember how this goes. Where's my camera? Google Docs. And then my other account. Boop. Aha. Now, where's that old camera? Kodak 9x12. Uh-huh. So actually, that is not bad. I just need a little dark outline. Wow, we are in the same exact boat then. I've taken like 180 because of major changes and no longer qualify for it. That's exactly what I'm facing. I'm not there yet, but before I graduate, that's how I'm gonna be. 面白い。面白い。面白い。Yeah, it is important, I think, to pick something that you like. I think it's more important than picking something that makes a lot of money, because if you're making a lot of money but you hate what you're doing, because that's exactly what happened. I worked in IT in a corporate office, and so people looking at, you know, where I was, they're like, oh wow, it's so great, you've got this cushy desk job and all this stuff, and wow, you have great benefits and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I'm hating it year after year, and I couldn't advance. There was no time to like take classes to further my career or whatever. It had great benefits. I've never seen better benefits anywhere else and all this stuff. But after about a decade of that, I was like, I don't even care. It's So yeah, if you think you like something, if you think physical therapy is more like what you'd be happier doing, definitely switch now. Switch now. You could like minor in business. Oh, that'd be a good idea. So you get like a physical therapy degree, but you minor in business, and then that way you've got the chops to like start your own physical therapy business or something. So that's exactly why I'm taking the arts entrepreneurship minor, because that's basically what you have to do these days as a professional creative. You've got to be able to do all that business stuff. But what makes you think that you wanna, like, did you have some experience with physical therapy that you started thinking that you like that more? Because I actually know someone who originally got a degree in graphic design, then she never really used it, and fast forward a few years, she ended up getting a, what is it called? It's not just massage, it's like medicinal massage. What is the term for that? Oh, it escapes me. There's a term for it. I bet you know what it is. What is that? Physical something. It's not physical therapy though. It's specifically massage. Anyway, well, she got her license for that. And she loves that job. But she never found out about it until something happened to her husband. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I don't need to explain that anyway, but she saw how much that helped him, and then she was just inspired and wanted to help other people. Occupational something. Yeah, maybe that's it. Something like that. I'm sure you get the idea anyway. This is enough. It's good enough for the story that I was trying to tell. Okay, now that this is all dry, I'm going to try using my sponge again. Get some cool sponge effects. But I'm not going to do yellow because yellow hardly showed up. Let's do like a brown. Like a light brown. Oops. Yeah, I'll just mix these colors that I've got right here. This will be fun. And maybe a little bit of this brown. Oh, massage therapy, that was it. Massage therapy. Yes. So yeah, I was just wondering, I guess, if that was happening to you, like you realize that it's more meaningful or something. Because if so, I'd say go for it. Man, I don't think that's enough pigment. I need some more pigment. And some more yellow. And maybe a little bit dark brown. Oh, I know. I'll add a little blue too. Oh, what kind of blue though? I guess just mix some of this. Don't want too much. Well, that's pretty good, yeah. Okay. I see. I actually went to PT and saw how it was helping others rehabilitate and wanted to look further into it. Yeah, it is pretty sweet. I've also been to physical therapy for a running injury actually in the past, and I really liked how they used so many different things at once. Like they had me do exercises, but they also did like massages, and they also did like electrode things on my back, and heated like a heat pad thing, and stretches and all this stuff. Like, I think it's really helpful. Yay, this is what I was trying to get before. It was still, the page was still too wet to get this nice texture. Yes, this is like one of the funnest things to do with watercolor, is use a sponge. Yes, that is so much better. Instead of being all flat and boring. Yay. Okay, should I do anything more of the, oh, my reference is gone again. I have too many references. I do need to see the inside of that door though. Yeah, the whole thing is like a brown piece of paper. So I guess I will paint it a little bit. Also, I've always been interested in massage therapy, so that could be another potential field of work. If I were to open my own clinic, I'd want to try and make it available to everyone that truly needs it but can't afford it. Man, yeah, you should do that. Because that is one thing, like, physical therapy is so expensive. And even after insurance is expensive. So that would be awesome. And if you did some sort of, I wonder if there's a minor that focuses on, I don't know how you do that, but something that would show you not how just to make something that is profitable, to make something that is good for the community. I do know there's a lot of like not for profit focus classes, because I was looking at taking this grant writing class and it was for nonprofits. Ooh, that's something. You could maybe fund it with grants. Subsidize with grants. That'd be a really cool idea. Okay, so this is like, wow, I really need to darken this part up, but I'll do this door first. Too yellow. Need a little white mixed in there. And maybe a little more. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I guess that's alright. I just don't want it to look the same color as the sea behind it. In my reference image, it's like this really dark brown paper, but I bet that's just because of age, because these cameras came out from 1898 to 1900. So, probably just yellowed over time. I'm pretty sure acid-free paper wasn't a big thing until, like, my lifetime. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll bring a little bit darker to that inside corner and like fade it out this way. Oops, I just mixed some blue in. Oh, well, I guess that's okay. I think entrepreneurship is what I'm thinking of, but learning business ethics as well could help with that. Kanji wakannai. Nanika wa yosasou da. Nanika wa. Kanji wakannai, yomenai. It's got ishi and few sukunai in it. Few rocks. Rocks. Maybe that's not ishi. Maybe that's something else. I am learning kanji today. Well, if you tell me what that one is, then I'll learn it. For the moment, we'll see if it sticks. Yeah, that's looking good. Oh, sand. Suna. Suna desu ka? Suna wa yosasou da. Oh, so desu ka. Arigatou gozaimasu. Yep, thanks to the nice sponge, which is actually kind of ironic because I'm pretty sure this is an ocean creature. Maybe they grow them in labs these days, but pretty sure a natural sponge comes from the ocean. I'll just leave that. That looked good. Okay. Now, the outside of this needs to be way darker. So, how am I going to do it though? Well, I guess I can do this part because it's not touching anything that's wet right now. So I'll start with the front half. Some peach sponge cone. I wonder what sea sponge is in Japanese. It's probably not spongy. Spongy. じゃないね. An island nation probably has its own word, native word for sea sponge. Though I'm actually surprised often how many words like modern Japanese just goes ahead and use the English one. Kai nani? Kai nandeshou? Oh, I think I'm gonna mix this with blue actually, this brown with blue, because if I just use this brown, it's gonna look exactly the same as the inside. I want it to look different. Kaimen. 面白い. What does the second kanji mean? I see the radical for thread on the left. Then what is that? Radical for white and then city? First kanji, obviously, ocean. Oh yeah, man, I think mixing it with blue was the right idea. I'm liking this color. But to fill this whole camera, I've got to mix a lot more of it. All right, I think that's good. Sweet. because oh, hopefully it hasn't dried too much. Ooh, I gotta be careful because the inside of that door right there is still wet. I'm trying to be careful right here so I don't get it on the gems. It's good to make this extra dark actually because it'll make the gems stand out even more. Because they're like the whole key to this story. Ah, a little piece of something. What is that? Little fuzzy. It's on my brush. It says cotton. Hua hua. Hua hua. I love that onomatopoeia. Hua hua. I love that one. I also love mohu mohu. Okay. That part's done. I'm going to turn it this way for this part. I think I can reach it easier. Okay, first I'll paint around the fins, and then I'll drag it into these translucent fins afterwards. I love people saying ping pong for that reason. Yeah, ping pong. Ping pong. It's also for when it's correct. Like if you get something right, you go ping pong. Because it's like the ding ding or whatever on a game show. Ah, was this another little fuzzy? No fuzzies. No fuzzies on my brush. Yay. I did it. Got around that square good. Wata. Wata. Imi wa? Wata. 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 There's so much vocabulary that I don't know. This is reminding me. Duolingo reminded me how much vocabulary I do know. It was like, you practiced 4,000 words this year or something like that. I was like, wow. It's cool to see it put in numbers like that, because sometimes I feel like I know nothing. Like I'm trying to say something and I'm like, I have zero vocabulary to communicate what I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. Oh, so desu ka. So sea cotton instead of sea sponge. Makes sense. This is fluffy. So desu ka. Omoshiroi. Sea cotton. Wonder if it looks like the cotton plant when it's underwater. I bet it looks way different than when it's just all dead and dried on land. out of pigment. I thought I mixed enough, but moment. So tree cotton is cotton. Sea cotton is a sea sponge. It's pretty sweet how this is turning into a Japanese lesson as well as painting. I don't know, it kind of looks like a fuzzy brain. Sea brain. Kai no. Fuzzy brain. Sea brain. Alright, I better mix some more of this color before I go to the last sections. Dang, I really thought I did enough, but it's not the right color. I don't know. Maybe a little more brown. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Sweet. Oh yeah, but I wanted to like drag the color over. Let's use this brush into the fins to make them look like they're translucent against this camera. Yay! Oh, I've got to do something about that. Don't want it like this. Don't want a hard line right here. Oops. How's that? Alright, guess that's good enough. Just dry. Eek. Still a little damp. Just try to go slowly. Still not very pigmented. Oh, no, it's too much. Goodness. Okay, mix that. blue really stained. Just boom. Well, now I know I can't mix blue on the page. Whatever, it's just an effect of the underwater lighting or something. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just the underwater lighting. Let's see, I gotta get some. Holy crap. That towel has soaked up a lot of water. That one's so wet. It's a slightly drier one. Man, I can't wait to put the gouache on this later. It's gonna look so cool. Though actually I might not use gouache, I'll just, because I'm doing the lines, I'm doing lines on top digitally anyway. I'll just put white on top digitally as well. Alright, hopefully that's not too damp right there. Okay. 大丈夫そうです. Oh dang, I really need to darken up the inside of this. But it'll have to wait till the rest is dry. Supposed to just let that dry, but that looks way better. It was far too light. Translucent fin. And another translucent fin. Sweet. あとはそして何時ですか? Wow. How long have I been on here? Wow, almost 2 hours. Yeah, maybe I should take a break. It's good to stand up every once in a while. ゆっくりと生き返って生き返っています。生き返るなら slowly coming to life? かな? I wonder if I should do a little more on the fishies. Or if the lines will be enough and I should just call it good here. わかんない。どうしよう。I'm gonna hold it up. はい。あー、よかった。読んだとよかった。I feel proud of myself. そしてありがとう。If that's what you meant. 考えます。考えます。Yeah, I definitely need to, let me look at my other reference image, but I'm pretty sure I need to make the inside of the camera a lot darker. Oh yeah. In my reference picture, it's almost black. I'm stretching. Oh goodness. Phew. Oh, it looks great. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I hope my professor thinks so as well, because this was due a while ago and he's pretty lenient, so just trying to finish by the final deadline. Oh, hi, そうです。あ、そうですか。ありがとうございます。 Man, time flies when you've got some nice people to chat with. Thank you guys for popping in here. Seriously does make it so much easier, because when I'm just working by myself and I just have this huge picture to accomplish, I just keep trying to find anything else to do, like, oh, I better go, I don't know, check on the pets, or I don't know, anything. Anything. Oh, what's in my email? Something. Do you plan to give texture to the chest? Yeah, I was thinking about it, actually. I was thinking about using the sponge again, or I might just put a texture on it when I scan it in, because it's actually that, I'm sure you've seen it, it's like this kind of bumpy kind of leather is what it's actually made out of. It's like wrapped in this, I don't know, it's kind of like, not crocodile skin, but you know, it's got those like beep, 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 tons of little tiny bumps on it. It's definitely textured in real life. But I don't know if the sponge is enough, or maybe the sponge would be a bad idea, because then it would be the same kind of texture on here. So it might be better to put a more even texture just using a Clip Studio Paint, probably, or maybe one of my Photoshop textures that I scanned in from papers. Kangaemasu. Just try it. Still a little damp. I really got to get that inside part. What else do I need to work on this? Oh, you can do that digitally? Yes, maybe I'll stream that too once I get to it. I mean, it takes my scanner is just a standard size, so I have to like scan one half, scan the other half, and then like make it match up in the middle. So that takes a while, but yep, so I've already got the lines, because what I did was draw the lines digitally, then I printed it out on 2 sheets and taped them together, and then so what you can do is you flip it over, and then you can see where the lines are, like through a regular piece of paper, and then you like put graphite or charcoal wherever those lines are, and then you like smooth it out really good with like a towel or something, so there's no like extra dust. Then you flip it back over so it's the right way around, and then you just use like a ballpoint pen, and then you just draw on top of that without moving it, and then the lines get transferred to your paper. So that's how I got digital lines onto this watercolor page, and now I'm going to scan it back in, and the lines are already there waiting for me. Because even though I can do like digital watercolor techniques, it's just never the same. It's never the same. It's beautiful. It can be beautiful, but it's not the effect that I like to get. Wait, I just noticed you're left-handed. Hi, Sodas. You're so funny. Yep. Interestingly, I'm only left-handed for like little fine detail stuff. Like I still remember distinctly, we were learning to play baseball in one of my, I don't know, 3rd grade or something. And they're like, what hand do you write with? I was like, my left hand, and I was used to this by now. So they made me bat left-handed, and I couldn't hit anything. And they're like, well, just try it right-handed. And then I was like, boom. So it's like, I'm never paying attention to that question again, because people always use it, but it doesn't necessarily work. So yeah, like if I need something with a lot of strength, then I'm right-handed. But if I need like really, it's kind of like, I don't know, fine motor skills or something. Left hand is better. One of us. Yeah, it's too bad. It's really interesting how, so most humans, I don't remember the percentage, but it's like 80% are right-handed or something. So it's sad that even languages that are written like Japanese traditionally from right to left, the culture overall was not, that didn't happen because most people were left-handed. It just happens to be a nice coincidence for left-handed people. Because I've always, my whole life, had the issue, you're like writing your essay in class, right? And then you just, your hand is black with graphite and or ink or whatever. This is still a little damp. I got this part really, really wet. So I want to get this. This is really nagging me. Oh, I remember though. I wanted to put a little bit more darks into the gems. So I'll do that. That'll take some time. Oops. Where's my tiny brush? Yay. Ah, 10% lefties. So it's even less than I thought. I wonder why that is. So strange. I mean, I know some of it is cultural. There are still people alive today who, when they were kids, you were not allowed to write with your left hand. Like, you were punished if you wrote with your left hand. So that probably contributes. Don't die out. Keep your uniqueness going. Yep. Fight-o. Lefties unite. So I want to do some nice, dark, rich brown on this yellow gems. Just the tiniest little touches. Yeah, my dad could write left-handed, but had to do all sports and everything right-handed. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I've never actually heard of anybody else. I mean, I've heard of people like having multi-handedness, but yeah, that's exactly what I've had to do. Glad I'm not the only one. It's like growing up, I was like, oh, here comes that question again. What hand do you write with? And then I have to go into this long story about how that doesn't really work for me. Eventually you get experienced enough that you're like, I don't need anyone to figure it out for me. There are a few things I can do either way. That's kind of cool. Whoops. Little kitty hair on my glove. Yes. It's so satisfying adding the little tiny fine details. I think you're right, because apparently back in the heyday the word for left was, was associated with sinister or awkward. That's literally what sinister means. It means left. I learned that in art history this semester, actually. Why the bias against lefties? I don't understand. It's not that weird, I don't think. Doesn't hurt anyone. So strange. No, you are evil because you are left. You guys are sinners. So weird. The biases that humans come up with. Uh-oh, little kitty hair. Get out of here. It didn't even let the kitties in here today. There's enough residual hairs. I try not to let the cats in here at all, but I can't help it. They're so cute and they meow at the door and want in. But at least not while I'm watercoloring, because it really, their hairs can like get ingrained in the paper. This is so annoying. People are born left-handed until they sin, then they become right-handed. So strange. That's funny. I wonder if there's like a book about it. I bet someone's written a book about it. That's a cool topic to research. The history of the bias against left-handedness throughout the world. Oh, heck yeah, dude. This is making a huge difference. love how the teeny tiny little details. You have to do all the hard work laying all of this flat color. And then the tiny details are the ones that make it feel complete. Baby lefties already sinning before they can speak. You never know what a baby is thinking. Man, that looks sweet. Okay, these ones in the back are pretty dark. They're really far back there. It's kind of hard to even tell what I was doing with this part. Yeah, I guess that's good. This part's actually kind of flat right there. Ah, that's probably good. And then this one. World domination, of course. Oh, that reminds me. Have you guys watched the new Animaniacs? We've been watching it at my house. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. I wasn't sure at first. I was like, I don't know. But I think they've done a really good job. I mean, and it's so meta, too. They break the fourth wall all the time. Haven't I want to though? Oh, if you get the chance, you should. I think it's really good. They always have a Pinky in the Brain segment. Well, almost always. Okay, so I think the yellow ones are good. So what color should I do next? Maybe these sort of like, they're supposed to be clear, but since they're clear, they just like kind of look kind of gray. So actually, I will just do plain old black on those ones. Haha, I have not, but I noticed one episode looked like Japanese anime style. Ah, that was the one I watched really recently. It was really, really good. Yeah, if you can. If only for that episode you should watch. That one was great. And how could I forget about it? We just watched it like 2 days ago. Oh, how could I forget? All this homework, that's how. I worked so hard the last 2 days on... Wait, the Monday and Tuesday on my art history stuff. It was worth it because I got good grades. Yay! But man, so tired. And I keep going to bed like, can't. Brain will not stop. Like, brain is in panic mode even though I'm like, it's okay, brain, we can sleep. Instead, lay in bed for like an hour before I even get sleepy. Oh, that's another reason I can't wait for winter break. Constant panic for me. Watashimo. Yep, we're all in it together, guys. Got this. Man, there's like no... Oh, right here. Here's one. It always... The semester always ends up like this for me, too, no matter what. I don't know what it is, because I did take on a lot this semester. I don't know if I just always do that. I don't know what my problem is. I can't not take on lots of responsibilities. Though I am looking forward to my last 2 semesters because the way it's going to work out is only 9 credits per semester because it seems silly to me to take like a 6 credit semester. I guess I could do that, but still 9 credits seems really nice. Unless something comes up where I have to squish more into next fall. I think it's going to be awesome. 9 credits. Maybe I could get like A+ in all my classes. That would be sweet. I end up taking on way too much too. I don't know what it is. I'm always like, oh, I can, yeah, I've got all this extra time now. Like, this semester I was like, oh, well, since I don't have to drive to campus anymore, that's like an hour every day that I have free, and I don't have to, like, necessarily get dressed or put on makeup if I don't want to, and whatever. Well, I ended up filling that time with way too much other stuff. And it always happens. Always happens. I'm working on it, though. I got a... I don't know if it's an invitation, if you call it an invitation or what, but there's a cool new space opening up in the art building next spring, and my art history professor recommended me for an internship position. It was for credit, and so with I'm super way over my credits, so I couldn't do it because of that anyway, but I was like, oh, I wonder if there's some way I could do it not for credit. But then I was like, I shouldn't do it at all because it's already too much without taking on another internship opportunity. But I couldn't help myself, and I still sent an email back explaining the situation in brief and asking if there's any way I could participate without credit. I told myself if there is, I will only dedicate 1 hour a week, because with the current, like the pandemic situation, I doubt they're going to do a paid internship. And so it would probably be volunteer. And I'm already volunteer TAing for you guys. So, and that's much more important to me than this thing is going to be pretty cool if I understand how it works. It's like going to be a virtual art gallery, but you are like in it physically, and stuff is projected from art museums across the world. So that would have been really cool to work with, but they haven't emailed me back since then, so maybe they're not interested or they're too busy. I don't know. I wish more internship opportunities at Boise State were paid, actually, but so many of them are just for credit, and for someone like me who has no problem figuring out stuff they want to use their credits on, it's not an attractive offer, attractive proposition. But if it's paid well, if I can pay for my final semester with an internship, that would be awesome. That hasn't happened yet, though. Aw, looking forward to having you as a TA next semester. Yay, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I was actually really happy when, I don't remember if it was you guys or a different one of my labs, but a bunch of y'all were like, please be my TA or something, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I like working, I don't know, it's just like sharing a passion with people, because I love learning Japanese. I'm not minoring in Japanese because I want to use it for my work or anything. I just really, really, really like learning the language, and so being able to learn and teach at the same time is just super awesome. Plus, Japanese is a language where if you want to get far in it, you really got to have a passion for it, because it's really, really hard. Our TA in 301, when I was in 301, was like struggling big time with finding her why. Like, why should she even continue studying? Because it was getting so hard for her. I'm like, whew. Good thing I've got like intrinsic motivation that I just want to learn it to learn it. Aw, sad that you won't be teaching lab though, but understand the reasoning. Yeah, it's just... So like, volunteer TAing is like, 3 hours a week. I don't have any responsibility, no prep work. outside of that time. But with the lab, it was a lot of outside prep work, a lot of coming up with things from scratch, which is actually really hard because, in my opinion, you guys deserve what you're paying for. Like, I deserve what I'm paying for as a student. And sometimes I was not happy, and I spent, let's just say I spent extra time off the clock making sure that it would actually work for people and be presentable and look professional. And I don't know, that matters a lot to me. So, but I understand because the whole school is like struggling because everybody in the world is suffering from, reduced hours, not being able to work, all this stuff. So it's really hard, and I understand. So I just made my decision to just do volunteer stuff. And then I can focus more on, because I don't know, I don't want to be frustrated. And I just focus on the fun part, interacting with you guys and any new students. Yeah. Aw, it showed. Greatly appreciate the efforts. Thank you guys. Oh, it made me feel so happy. Because it was really hard sometimes. It was so frustrating, but I don't know. I thought a lot about the TAs that, or not TAs, the lab assistants that I had. They were so good, and they always like stayed after to answer my questions or whatever. Like when I was in 202, I was the only person who couldn't do lab right after class. And so at first it was kind of awkward because I had lab and I was the only person in it aside from the assistant. But then it ended up sort of being like a private tutoring session, and I was like, sweet, this is actually way better because I don't have to worry about taking time away from other people's opportunity to learn because I'm the only one learning or practicing or anything right now. So I kind of wanted to live up to that if I could. And especially because my last assistant, she graduated, and that's the reason, one of the reasons, I mean, they both graduated. Her graduating, though, was one of the reasons they needed more assistants. And when I posted on Facebook that I got the job, she was like, oh, thank goodness. I didn't know what was going to happen. Thank goodness it's you. And I was like, oh, she has confidence in me. Oh, can't let her down. Okay, I've spent way too much time on that gem. Kind of how I felt with your sessions. I wonder how it would be, because I never did lab work as an assistant online. I mean, nobody had, but a lot of people in other languages had at least done it in person before. So I wonder if I would have, if we hadn't been all pandemic and crazy, maybe I would have stayed on because we wouldn't have been doing so much extra work making stuff from scratch in order to make it work with Zoom and stuff. Yeah, this needs to be way darker. I'll just add a little black to this green. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. So this little section is super dark. $4:30. I think I've gotta go. Okay. Yeah. Just finish up these green gems and then I'll have to log off for now because I gotta go get my Christmas run packet pickup. I'm doing 6 mile virtual race this weekend. Curse this pandemic. The show. Yep, I'm so sick of it. I usually have a Christmas party every year. Like, I think last year was my 17th annual Christmas party. And then this year I'm like, I'm not even gonna try. Because I tried doing a virtual Halloween party. And like, nobody showed up. I was like, what the heck? You guys said that you were up for this. And then like, nobody comes. So I'm like, forget it. It wasn't worth the effort. Because it's not the same as being in person. Like, you have to make sure that you're visible on the camera or whatever, or you're in reach of the microphone. It's different from an in-person party where you just like hang out or roam around the house or whatever. So for my Christmas party, well, I'm just gonna have to skip a year. Annual Christmas party. I'm not gonna get to see my family. I also usually have a really big family Christmas because I love huge family gatherings. Stupid pandemic. Can't wait until it's over. とても悲しいでしょ? でも我慢します。我慢します。We'll get through it. きっと。Wow. Yeah, man. I'm loving how this is starting out. It's too bad I don't think I'll have time before I turn it in for class to get as much as I want done, because I think what I'm going to have to do is call this good for purposes of class. I'm gonna have to flatten it before I scan it too. So I need to scan it in. The lines are ready, but I've also been using screen tone, like in manga, to add shading. So that'll help here too. And then I like add shading on the fish and stuff using screen tone. So that takes a little while, and I only have until tomorrow. But in any case, I've got to get ready to go do my packet pickup. So, call it good for here. And thank you very much for joining me. I can't believe that I was streaming for what? Almost 2.5 hours. Definitely thanks to you guys chatting with me. Maybe if I'm not too tired, I'll stream some more when I do some digital work. But until next time, and maybe I'll probably just see you on Discord in a little bit. So, thank you for watching.